And now for more reaction, we welcome Chen Mazig, Senior Fellow from the Tel Aviv Institute. He joins us now from London. Thank you so much for your time. We're focusing right now on this terror attack in Colorado, targeting a group of people showing their support for Israeli hostages in terror captivity. One of the injured is a Holocaust survivor. Difficult to comprehend. Your response?
You know, it didn't come out of anywhere. It's months of radicalization and lies that have led to this violence, the normalization of hatred of Jews. It's not random, it's inevitable, and we have seen it, and many of us have called it out. But people keep trying to draw the lines. You know, they're saying this is not about Jews, it's about Zionism. But a Molotov cocktail doesn't make those distinctions. It doesn't check your political beliefs before it explodes, and it burns wherever there are Jews. And the Holocaust survivor who was hit in Colorado is not asking what ideology led to her being burning. And, you know, it's not just about misinformation, like the fake number of 14,000 babies being killed in 48 hours, of course, did not happen. But this sort of rhetoric that has been spread on international media without scrutiny, without looking into the Hamas numbers, or the claim of massacre that we heard a couple of days ago, yesterday and today, this sort of headlines are leading directly to the killing of Jews and to harming Jews. And it's terrifying. It's not just anxiety that Jews have. We know where it leads. And, you know, people expect anti-Semitism to look like something in the 40s or in Germany, but it's evolved. Now it comes through misinformation, through memes, through subtle but constant messaging that paints Jews as genocidal, colonial, thieving, subtly erasing our humanity until violence feels justified.
And as you well know, this misinformation goes out into the public arena. And if there is a retraction, if it even happens, it happens on page 2 or 3 of a newspaper or hidden somewhere. It doesn't get the same traction as the initial lie. And we are seeing the response right now. When you talk about an incident like this, an attack on elderly people who literally are holding posters calling for the return of hostages in captivity, what is the reaction you're seeing specifically on social media?
We're seeing the same reaction that we've expected to see, that it's Israel actually manufactured this attack, that this guy was working for Mossad. And we've seen it with the DC attack as well, where propaganda on social media was going viral with claims that Elias, the name of the shooter in DC, is a Hebrew name and is actually an Israeli in disguise. You know, the narrative has been, it's not about Jews, it's about Israel. But if that's true, why are Jews being stabbed in Los Angeles? And why are a Jewish couple being shot in DC? And why are Holocaust museums being vandalized in Paris? Why are we being firebombed in Colorado? The rhetorical, the rhetoric that we're seeing on social media is leading to global violence. But so is the anti-Semitic violence that it inspires.
And when you see President Donald Trump specifically talking about acts of terrorism will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, one wonders what kind of deterrence it is, because in this particular case, this man didn't put up a fight when police came towards him. He clearly expected to be arrested. It was part of his planning of a year for this attack.
Right, and we're seeing this pattern that there is those attackers are taking pride in what they're doing, and people act like there's this is not part of the Free Palestine movement. That the fact that he chanted "Free, Free Palestine" like we heard on so many college campuses when he was shooting those two Jewish and Israeli couple in DC was not connected, or that the Colorado attack, the person that was throwing the Molotov cocktails was saying "end to Zionists" and actually referencing those babies headline that we've seen. I think what we need right now as Jewish people around the world is not just sympathy from the world. We don't just need people to feel bad for us or to tell us that, you know, if it was the Holocaust, they would have hid us. That's not helping us. What we need is action, and what we need is people to speak up and to say that this is not okay and to stop this pattern, because it's not going to end. It didn't end with DC. It's not ending in Colorado. It's not ending in Paris or in London or around the world. It's not just anxiety. We know exactly where it's going to lead us. And this type of dehumanizing rhetoric that we're seeing on social media that is enabled today is going to lead to really inhumane violence against us that we've seen. And it's going to just get worse unless people are doing something. And I do think social media is the place to start.
And very briefly to that exact point, the concern right now about copycat attacks as well, not only in the US, but across the globe, as you've been outlining.
Yeah, we're seeing that there's praising and celebration, and somehow those attackers are becoming the heroes online when there's no accountability and when people are not pushing back and criticizing this and in fact actually celebrating it on social media. It provides an outlet for many others to say, okay, this is something we want to do because we want to gain this fame and this glory that these people have gained. And it's I'm really out of words at this point because it's terrifying. I think every Jew is afraid today, and we all have the same feeling that it could have been us.
No doubt about that. At the same time, the organizers of the weekly Run for Their Lives rally saying in Colorado that their rallies will continue until the end of the war, until all the hostages are safely back home. Certainly a message of resilience and strength. Chen Mazig, Senior Fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute, thank you very much for joining us, as always, on I-24 News.